Good evening, race fans. Pirate here, Black Flag Racing TV. Monday night, GR4 lottery time. Round 5 already of Season 2. How about that? How quickly are we burning through Season 2 of the GR4 lottery? So, where are we tonight? We're at the Kyoto driving park. We're doing Yamagiwa in reverse. You know the format by now. Nothing's changed. Two 30-minute races. First race is reverse championship grid. Second race is reverse race grid. But nothing really changes. You know how it is. Just the 10 runners this evening. That just came out of nowhere. Let's leave that on, turn that off. There we go, that's better. Just have a little track. There we go. Yeah, just 10 runners this evening. Stormfly, Wiggy, TJ, GMAC, Manxman, Cool Runnings, Aussie Rooster, Grizza Troopers, Fubar, and Bandits. I don't have to go for the format again, do I? It is essentially the same. There were 5 cars on the wheel. They were rolled. They were the cars you got. That's what you ended up with. Simple as pimple. Standings. This is where we currently stand. I haven't got the full leaderboard. There's sort of 30 names on that list. Some have already raced once. So, good evening, Paul. How you doing, mate? Looking forward to your big car reveal coming up soon. Check out PM10 Racing's YouTube. He's doing a big car reveal for the Season 2 of the Open GR3, which is coming up very, very soon. So there's your leaderboard. Star Group is in the lead at the moment. 160 points there for Wiggy. Kevin's still on holiday, so the gap is going to open up a little bit. There is Stormfly second, VR46 in the Porsche. Wiggy's in the Nissan Silvia, of course. Kevin also in the Nissan, 137 points in third. Aussie Rooster in the Aston Martin, highest Aston Martin runner, 118 points. Cool Runnings in the Porsche Cayman, starting himself up that leaderboard, 84 points. GMAC, he's in the European Toyota, 76 points, 6th place. Fubar in the Cayman as well, 74 points, just behind. Imagine a good battle between them two today. Ghost is the highest BMW driver. He is in 8th place, 61 points. And I'll tell you what, these BMWs, it's weird because they seem to perform much better in the first half of every race than they do in the second half. And that's irrespective of whether they're on medium tyres or soft tyres in that first stint. It just seems that for some reason, and I can't explain it, whoever's driving it, they just don't seem to have a great performance after the pit stop. And that is irrespective of what tyres are on. I'm sure it's going to look awesome, Paul. I'm sure it's going to look awesome. Really looking forward to seeing it, to be fair. And we'll happily share it here too for you. The BMW was selected. It probably wasn't the right choice to go in, but it was put down to a vote. People voted for it, so they must have wanted it. But anyway, yeah, that's it. Then we also got Yellow Sausage dropping down the order. He's not going to be racing for a while because of his injury. Get well soon, Chris. Love to see you back soon. Bandit, he's in the BMW. He will still be racing. Forza Ferrari, haven't seen him for a few weeks. He's in the Aston Martin. He's dropped down. Ranger raced in week number 1 and then never came back. But as you can see, for those 47 points, he had a pretty good first week. Jay's obviously back at work now, can't race during the week. 45 points for him. Manxman, down 41 points, but he's racing this evening, so he should jump. Jump above Jay and Ranger and Forza, maybe Forza today, depending on his performance. But, the grid is the grid. It'll be set from Reverse Championship. And for those of you who want to know what the order that is in, I will tell you now. Bit slow with bringing it up, to be fair. Let's do it this way around. So it will be Grizz Troopers, Manxman on the front row, Bandit, Ghost, second row, third row will be Fubar and GMAC, row 4 will be Cool Runnings and Aussie, and row 5 will be VR46 and Star Group Senior, or Wiggy, as he's otherwise known, or James, as he's also otherwise known. So that's going to be your complete lineup today. Shall we get out on track and have a little looky see? After we've done this today, we've got We've got rivals coming up very soon. There's a settings in case you didn't know. 4 times tyres, 4 times fuel. Yeah, is what it is. Yeah, so we've got little rivals competition. It is the Evo versus the Subaru WRX, essentially. It's a team. It is a team event and an individual event. More details I will share with you later. But yeah, really looking forward to that one. It did take a while to get the numbers up. We're still probably about 5 or 6 people short for that for a season, but we're going to get it cracking anyway and see how it works out. Yeah, going to be rolling the dice on, or rolling the dice. It's not dice. It's a wheel. We're going to be rolling the wheel on that straight after this race, actually, to allocate everyone's place within that competition. And it'll be, you'll either get an Evo or you'll get a Subaru, and that'll be your car, that'll be your team. And there's essentially 4 competitions. You've got your individual competition, which will be for the main team riders. There'll be a team versus team competition, essentially for the 6 and 6 that are allocated this evening. There'll be a constructors championship where any reserve drivers' points are included in that. And the way we're going to allocate the reserve drivers' cars is that if we are on an odd number of main full-time drivers, we will. Someone going the wrong way. No, I don't know who that was. Probably DJ. Oh, Manxman. I know he's facing the right way. Yeah. So if we've got an odd number of full-time drivers, we will. It is TJ going the wrong way because it's a knobhead. Yeah. If it's the. If it is the odd number of drivers, you'll go in the other car to even out. If there is an even number of drivers already, it will be the car with the least points in the championship will go to the reserve driver. So that will work to the Constructors' Championship points. And then the final little points thing is kind of everybody competition kind of thing, which includes reserve drivers, but I'll talk a lot more about that later. Okay, in terms of lap times, I'm thinking it's going to be low 40, low 140s, I think. Yeah, low 140s for qualifying. No, it's not qualifying, is it? For soft tyre race pace. And we'll see there that Aussie was to 143. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a doozy of a race tonight. Yamagiwa in reverse is a tricky track, but very, very quick. So 30 minutes around here is going to be awesome. And I just want a big shout out to the 2 Black Flag Racing team members, Jay, J59. Good evening, Jay, just talking about you. And Arminis, who both raced in the, been qualifying for the GT Champions Porsche Cup. And although they both initially qualified in Group 3, due to some movements in terms of people's penalties and stuff like that, they have been promoted into Division 2 for the coming season. Congratulations to both of them on your efforts, representing Black Flag very well there in that GT Champions competition. And that will start in a couple of weeks. Actually, they're in Division 2. Or they're into the mix for Division 2. They still might end up in Division 3. But now they're in the mix for Division. I know, because I think they go straight in. I'm a bit confused how it all works, but essentially they they've got a shot. I think they're fully in Division 2. I don't think they get a shot at Division 1, so they're in Division 2, which is great. And Division 2 will be broadcast on Saturday evenings, Friday evenings for Division 3, which we're doing on Black Flag. Saturdays will be Division 2, and Division 1 will be done by President Dog himself on the Saturday nights. But yeah, no, it's really looking forward to it, actually. And they both Jay and Armin did a great job last night. They were both been quite self-critical of their performance, but you know, it was a very, very strong field. They got through the first qualifying pretty well, and you know, weren't too far off the pace of the Division 1 boys. And there's always the opportunity to be bumped up to Division 1 for a good performance in Division 2. Anyway, but we'll give you more information on the season. Yeah, Jay, if everyone wants to see Jay's races on his profile, have a good look at it. You can see where he showed great sportsmanship after giving Willie from Amigos a little love tap. Slowed down, let him through, and then got absolutely melted twice. One by J-Rod of RWB, and who, to be fair, did apologise at the end of the race. And then again by Magic Call towards the, or Magic Call, whatever he played then was towards the end. But still managed to get himself into that top 7. So here we go. That is the grid lined up. We will get 5 lights. They will go out. Yes, in the Porsche 911 RSR. Paul, look at your name then. Yeah, it's in the Porsche 911. So, good race expected. Let's wait for the lights. There's the lights. Let's jump out, jump back in, spectator mode. And here we go. Why must I slow down this today? There we go. Everyone away well. How long can Grid Troopers and Manxman hold off the charge from behind? And those BMWs already pushing their way through. Bandit challenging Grid Troopers, but Grid Troopers just managing to stay ahead. Fubar takes the first position in that Porsche. So already Fubar up into position number 1. How about that for Fubar? Good race from him. And he's been knocking on the door for a while of a podium place. Certainly in the mine endurance events on Saturdays, which of course the last one is this weekend. We'll talk about that later, of course. But Fubar in the lead, 1.5 seconds from Bandit in the BMW. Cool Runnings is up to 3rd place, ahead of Stormfly's made a massive charge through the field. Really having a bit of a purple patch while Kevin's been away. And being quite dominant. GMAC goes very, very, very wide, and that allows TJ, the BMW, just to come sidling through, as does Aussie Rooster. GMAC drops down to 7th position briefly, and then through comes Wiggy, having none of it. GMAC is dropping like a stone back behind Manxman now as well, absolutely diving down the back of the order, and Grid Troopers is now down in 10 seconds back. So must have had a little knock somewhere in that foray. So championship-wise, at the moment, Stormfly looking good. He's got some gap on Wiggy at the moment. Wiggy is the current championship leader, of course. But he's made his way up into 2nd already. And Fubar doing everything he can. He's going to try and do everything he can to keep him at bay. But Stormfly, as usual in practice, moaning about how slow he was and how the car wasn't very good. And typical, the same sort of tactics you get from PM10 Racing's joins this evening. Very much telling us about how wobbly the car is, and now he's not feeling it today, and and then going out and putting the fastest lap on the first bloody lap. But Fubar still holds him off. So that's 2 Caymans out in the lead. Fubar Philantis, who is the winning recipient of Newcomer of the Year. I know still haven't done the end of year awards. I've just been busy with Shizzle, and we couldn't do it on the night. I planned to do it because of things and bits and pieces and bits and things. But it will be done eventually. But Fubar, just for the record, is the winner. Oh, what a crash that was! See you later, Fubar. Can't park that there. And he is off and down into 3rd place. He's going to have a bit of damage, which is going to affect his performance for a little while as TJ starts coming down and through. There he is in 3rd, up into 3rd place. Do you know what it is? I don't know what it is, but any time I talk at length about any driver or flick to them randomly, they seem to go into a wall. So basically, when I do the Porsche Cup with Ominous and Jada, I'm basically going to have to just avoid them the whole time, because I'm just going to jinx them. I'm really, the commentator's curse is strong in this one. It's like the Force. I'm like the Jedi of making people crash. Who should I pick on now? Let's see if someone gets Stormfly and crash. Yeah, I do talk a lot of shit. Oh, you do, yeah. Yeah, you do. You and Stormfly are the best at doing it. So you both sit there in practice and moan about how rubbish the car is. And, I just can't get this car to turn. And, it's so sluggish in the corners. And, I'm going to be terrible today. And then fastest lap. You can always tell how confident you are with the track. Both you and Darren. Because the more you talk about how rubbish it is, the faster you're going to be. When you don't say anything, that's when you're not going to be too good, because you're concentrating too hard. But at the moment, Stormfly is 1.5 seconds clear. And we're doing Yamagiwa River. I can't pronounce. I'm not Japanese. Yamagiwa in reverse. Kyoto Yamagiwa in reverse. And I did do a few laps in it earlier, and it's a fun track. And just for the record, I think my best lap was a 1:45. Has anyone done worse than that? A Grizz has just done worse than that, but that's it. Oh, hang on. GMAC's not having a great race. I don't think GMAC's driven this track much because that's twice he's been off in the same place. To be fair, that part of the racetrack's very, very tricky. So that's the unique position I'm in, Paul, is I can kind of, I'm kind of there for everything, so I kind of see all and patterns begin to emerge. So let's go. We're on board with Stormfly right now, and we'll show you a full lap here because you'll be a master of that pulse by the end of it. You'll be Jason. You'll be like you and Patrick will be like pulse buddies. Okay, we go. You cross the start finish line over to the right hand side. It's relatively big braking zone, but you're only down to third. You should be able to get the rotation quite easily. At least I did in the Sylvia. Then you're on that power again, heading down towards this right-hander here. And only a little touch of brakes, just keeping you down in third gear as you power your way through. And then you've got a really, really big right-hander here. And there's actually 3 big switchbacks like this, and then a very, very long sweeping switchback, which we'll talk about in a bit. So this is the tricky part of the racetrack. So you on the power here, and it looks like you should be able to go faster than you are. So you go round to the right here. You need to scrub off some speed here. Little lift, drop down through the gears to get through. And I mean, that chicane's a very, very slow part of the racetrack the other way round. But this way, you've just got to be a little bit careful and scrub off that speed. Then this is that big sweeping right-hander I was talking about. It seems to go on forever. It's like, when you're going in a multi-story car park and you've got those kind of twisted things, you're kind of going and going and going. It's almost like that. You're on it for so long. And then you head down and you've got this little kind of slalom bit of the course. Slalom there, slalom there, slalom there. Pretty much all flat, little lifts just to get that car rotating. And then you're into this big right-hander to finish your lap. And again, it's about holding off on getting on the power too early, but then making sure that when you can, you're full flat to the floor and hammer time. And there we go, there's a lap around Yamagiwa in reverse. And that was Stormfly VR46. Is now 3.9 seconds clear of Cool Runnings. And Cool Runnings clearly enjoying this track. Fastest lap so far is GMAC with a 1:42.000. So now GMAC's starting to make a move forward. A couple of bad laps from him, but he's now finding his rhythm. Cool Runnings with a 1:42.8, 42.2 for Stormfly, of course. But Cool Runnings up into second, and at the moment it is Porsche. The 3 Porsches very, very strong here. And we'll run through all the cars as we go through. But at the moment, it's Stormfly from Cool Runnings from Fubar. Then we've got the first BMW, TJ's BMW. And as I said, the BMWs perform much better in the first stint. And it's not always just because they're on soft tyres. Actually, I think, I wonder if anyone's running mediums. They're all running softs, aren't they? We've got one medium runner. There's Wiggy on mediums. Everybody else has gone for, other than Manxman, has gone for the soft compound tyres to start. And the mediums are a mandatory tyre. You've got to use them. So it's about managing that. And for me, I prefer when you have that mandatory choice and you've got the slower choice, I prefer getting them out of the way first. I mean, this is more about me because I'm not. I'm usually poodling around at the back, maybe troubling some people on the blue flags towards the end of the race. But I prefer that strategy for me because it just means that it gives me an opportunity late on in the race to close down. If I start on the softer compound tyres, I might make a couple of places, but then it all goes horribly wrong. So TJ, the BMW, doing really well at the moment. He's holding Wiggy off. Wiggy is in that phenomenal Nissan Silvia, and that's a much better car than you think. And once you get driving, it's a lovely car to drive as well. Really smooth. Yeah, it's not super quick for a GR4 car, but I mean, and let's face it, the choice between that and the Alpha, possibly Patrick, we'll see. I am planning on, after the GR4 lottery, I don't think we're going to go straight into Pink GR4 lottery again. I think we're going to break it up with a same car race. And it may be a Porsche, it may not, we'll see. We'll see, but it's going to be a GR4 car. But Wiggy running in, there we go, Wiggy running in 5th place. We're on, lap 6, 10 minutes in, 1/3 into this race. And at the moment, it's the 3 Porsches out in front, Stormfly, Cool Runnings and Fubar, dominating this track at Yamagiwa, Kyoto, Yamagiwa, Konnichiwa. Was that racial appropriation? TJ is running 4th, Wiggy in 5th, G-Mac back in 6th place, starting to show some pace. He's got the fastest lap of the race with 1:42.0. He is in that GR Supra, the European Supra as it's known when it's in his hands, of course. Grizz Troopers up to 7th place in that Silvia. He's on the soft compound tyres, but starting to find his own little rhythm as well. 44.0 and a 44.5 for him, so he would be leaving me adrift. Bandit, surprisingly, is back in 8th place because he had a really good start, but those soft tyres really getting scrubbed off. Now they only start on half a tank of fuel, so that's why for me I think you're maybe better off starting on the medium tyres. Although I think in this scenario, I think BMW is it would struggle to go long with the soft tyres, so actually it might not be the worst strategy this time round. Max Mann's on those medium compound tyres. He had a really bad lap on that for 2 minutes 2 seconds. That's a really long thing. But we're looking now. That's a big lockup. He was locking up for almost forever there. And Aussie Restart has had a big smash at 2:08.6 for him on lap 4. And then a pretty poor lap straight after that with a 1:45. So at the moment, the Aston Martin's struggling. Yeah, I am considering the GAN Trophy. I do quite like it. It's quite a fun car. But I was also thinking maybe not GR4 and go for the brilliant Mazda Roadster, because that's pretty cool for a single car tournament. But I'm not sure yet. We could potentially put it on another day of the week, but I think we've got quite enough going on at the moment. I think we need a few days broken up in between stuff for practice and shizzle. Plus, obviously, with World Championships, and we're going to have Fusion starting soon, we're going to have Alpha starting soon, we're going to have the endurance stuff starting soon. I think we need to have a few days where we don't have any sanctioned events, just so we can get some practice laps in on the stuff we are doing. So, Fubar back in the lead of this race, and that is because Stormfly's pit, I'm assuming. He has indeed. He's moved on to those medium compound tyres. I'll tell you what, the tyre wear here has been, I'll say quite big, but I mean, Grizz Troopers has held out really well in that Silvia on those soft compound tyres. Wiggy held out incredibly well on the medium. So Silvia, very good. The F-150, isn't it that F-1500? I was thinking the F-150, that truck racing thing. You are talking about the truck, aren't you? I think that'd be awesome. I still think we should do a boy racer GTI, Golf GTI thing. But it's weird because there's a few of us that are really bang into doing something like that, but the majority just not interested. Either that or Cosworth. Soup up your Cosworth. Fezzy, yeah, we haven't done Fezzes for a while, have we? And who's that spinning? That's Fubar, spinning round and round. Did his tyres let go? It's going to be a grip on this, and maybe he just got a bit squirrely on the ground. Because otherwise we're going to end up running 5 GR4s, 5 GR3s a year. at the rate, 10 races a season. So Wiggy now out in the lead. And I'll tell you what, he's in a very, very good position. He's 18.1 seconds clear of Stormfly. He's going to easily make it to the midway point here with just that half a tank of fuel on the medium tyres, which means he's got less fuel put on board than everybody else. Although, does he lose it there? He does lose it. Oh, that's terrible. Terrible. He couldn't get it back under control and just went from one side of grass to the other. That's going to cost him some significant time. And how much time? Here comes Stormfly. Stormfly can just see him up the hill. So he's got very, very close. And that is going to be devastating. Devastating for Wiggy there. Just losing control. And I think, I said it earlier, that's a really tricky section of the track. And it doesn't look like it should be that tricky. But if it's one of those turns where it looks like you can go in a lot quicker than you actually can. You really do have to be careful and scrub off that speed going in there. You can carry some good pace through that corner, but you can't go flat, and you've got to scrub enough speed off just to get that kind of left-right combo, because it's so easy to go wide on the way out. They're just bad drivers. Says the man who quit the BMW after one round. So Wiggy into the pits. That will promote Stormfly back into the lead, but Wiggy is in quite a unique position, as I said. He's going to be on the soft compound tyre with less fuel on board, so maybe, just maybe, he can put the frighteners on those up ahead. He did lose because he got religion. Of course, you worship at the altar of the Porsche. And the German car gods won't let you anywhere near another German car. We won't mention the fact that you actually work for Mercedes, though, yeah? Let's not tell everybody that. Cool Runnings back up into the top three. Second place for him. That's a really good performance. He's running really, really well. And we don't often see Cool Runnings on a podium, but every now and then, the king of the midfield pulls out some great laps and sneaks his way into that top three. There's another one that can surprise you, and I'll tell you when this guy's strongest. Endurance racing, long endurance racing. Short sprint racing, it's not his thing. Bavarian and not German. To be fair, it's only a German would argue that. Pretty much everybody else would argue that Bavarian is it's more German than it is anything else. Other than Bavarian, of course. But I like the argument. Yeah, so this guy, TJ, his endurance racing clearly is his forte. And I mean long-term, proper hardcore, 2-3 hour endurance races. It tends to be where he's strongest. I mean, he's not in the greatest of cars. This BMW hasn't seemed to perform as well as the people who voted for it suggested that it might do. But, it is what it is. So GMAC running in 4th place. He had a really, really bad start, but starting to dial it in with lap times. With his issue now isn't necessarily keeping the car at a wall, it's keeping the car at the pits. And to the end of this race, it looks like he's going to be okay this time out. So we're 18 minutes in, 11 laps in. We've got probably another 9 laps to go to the end of this race here at Kyoto Yamagiwa. Aussie Rooster has improved his lot somewhat. Has he taken those soft tyres that far into the race? Someone's been watching Patrick. He really has taken that Aston Martin on those soft tyres really, really far. He couldn't, surely he hasn't only done that little bit of fuel and those little bit of tyres. Maybe stranger things have happened. Aussie Rooster doing a very, very good job. He's going to have to come in soon though, because excuse me, those tyres looking ropey, and I'm yawning because I was up obviously supporting Jay at 2 o'clock this morning and out for work at 6 a.m. We won't talk about the fact that I slept until 12 and I was going to start. But it is what it is. Wiggy comes back out. He came back out in 6th place. Now that's 7 seconds he's behind Aussie Rooster. I think it's very likely that is what that crash probably cost him more than that, actually. He probably would have been ahead of GMAC had he not had that little crash in twisty section. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it the twisties. And I think we should start naming corners on the fictional racetracks because they don't have official names. So I think we should give them official names. I mean, look, at Dragon Trail Race, you've got the Chicane of Death. So we'll come up with some interesting names for some corners at some stage. I think we'll wait for people to crash at them and then name it after them. So that chicane will be the Wiggy Wiggle. Oh, that's it. The Wiggy Wiggle. That's going to be the name for that corner forever. Right, there we go. So Fubar in 7th place. Initially wasn't the top 3. We saw him have a spin. He's now back in 7th place. He's 3.6 behind Wiggy. Perennial midfielder, absolute perennial midfielder. Always just outside on the cusp of that top 3. And I've said this a lot over the last few races. If anyone deserves a podium, it's this guy. Putting the shifts in, putting the laps in, just falling short at the moment. But you know, I'm in no doubt that his podium will come, and it will come sooner rather than later. Bandit in the Beamer. And TJ's up to 3rd in that Beamer, so he's getting a good performance out of that Beamer today. Bandit in the Beamer, back in 8th place. And look at that, look at top 3. Dutch. Although Cool Runnings is actually Jamaican. But flying the Dutch flag. But Dutchmen all over the front 3 at the minute. And I'm surprised that they're out in front, bearing in mind they can't tell the time properly. Grizz Troopers is running in 9th place. Good performance from him today because, and I'm sure you won't mind me saying this, he's usually flitting around the back. And at one stage he was 10 seconds back in this race, but he's fought his way back into it. He's only 1.4 behind Bandit. As Ozzy finally goes in for his stop. Now, where's he going to come back out? It looks to me that actually he's going to drop way down the order. And it looks like Grizz Troopers might be nicking himself a few points today. This is the one good thing when you have a 15-car lobby, and there are guys like me or Jay or Grizz or those kind of tail enders in the mix. It tends to be a bad day at the office for points. But sometimes, just sometimes, you get this smaller lobby where a few people can't make it. People on holiday. You only get 10 drivers, and it means that the back markers get to pick up a decent chunk of points for finishing in the top 10. So that's always good, isn't it? Yes, Andy. Yeah, they are unable to tell the time properly. If anyone obviously doesn't understand that reference, we were having a conversation with one of the Dutch guys, who will remain nameless, TJ, who kept insisting it was an hour later in his country than it was. I think it was 5:30 here in the UK. It was 6:30 in the Netherlands, and he kept saying it's 7:30, and it's because they do 7:30, not 7:30, like normal time reading human beings that have properly evolved. But that's how they do it. There's also we've been told they've got a weird way of describing if they were going to do something on this Wednesday coming, they would call it next Wednesday. And fully think, or if someone described it as next Wednesday, they would fully think it was next week Wednesday, not the next Wednesday to come, or not just say it's Wednesday. Yeah, they've got a very weird concept of time, some of those Dutch guys. But enough about that. I do not want the Dutch trolls on board to be kicking me in the nuts. There's your leader, Stormfly, 3.9 seconds clear. Fought his way very, very quickly through to the front of the pack in that Porsche Cayman, and pretty dominant. Lost the ability to speak. Pretty darn dominant. What's going on? Can't say the word dominant. Dominant. There we go. And there he's just going through the Wiggy Wiggler, as it's now being named. And yeah, 4 seconds clear of Cool Runnings. Cool Runnings under some pressure from TJ and GMAC behind, and they're coming together between TJ and GMAC. That's going to need to be looked at by the stewards, I think. I think GMAC's going to wait for TJ to come back through, and he does. So more action at the Wiggy Wiggler, and TJ does retain that position, so no need for a stewards inquiry there. But that does allow Wiggy up into the top 3. 6.6 seconds behind Cool Runnings. There is just 6 minutes left to go. Can he do a second a minute gaining? It's a brilliant name for that cooldown. Wiggy Wiggler. TJ in 4th place was tagged by GMAC. GMAC did the right thing, just held up and let him come back in. And I'll tell you what, it's good to see Blackfire guys doing that, and it's something we've kind of got entrenched in the way we do things. Is that if you do tell you know you've done it, just let the guy through. Look, if the guy spun off, like, if you're a good one, the guy spun off into the yonder, don't hang around for too long. Get on with it if you need to. But, if the guy's right there and getting back up to speed, let him back into the race. But GMAC and TJ going at it like a couple of rutting stags. TJ from the Netherlands, of course, and Gary GMAC in the European Toyota. He only drives European cars, even if they're Japanese cars, but he only drives European cars, and he only drives them if you don't have to fuel save. And look, he's got BP on the side of his car because he loves a bit of extra fuel in his car. He does. Tyres and fuel advertising, very, very clever. It's not lost on me. And I do want to see if we can. I don't know if we can get the view. Let's have a look. There is something on the back of Ghost's car. And I don't know if you can read that, but that on the back of the car, underneath his number plate, very clearly states, erections have consequences. And indeed they do, because, he can tell us firsthand because he just had a baby. So indeed they do have consequences, and very costly ones at times. Where so if you have them on the bus, of course. Right, let's have a look at the back of the pack. Manxman, 2.9 seconds back. He's got a half-second penalty. That's not going to help with his push to catch Aussie, and his tyres looking ropey. So he's taking a lot out of that tyre. It's the Supra not looking after those tyres at all. He's got much more fuel than he needs. But I bet right now he would love to be swapping some fuel for some tyres, because those tyres are going to kill someone. Aussie Rooster, plenty of soft on those tyres. What's his pace looking like? Well, he's done his fastest lap of the race. He did a 1:42.7, 2.1 seconds behind the BMW of Bandit. Half a second penalty for him as he chases down Grizz Troopers in the dizzy heights of 7th. Good run from him, and Bandit's not going to catch him with that half-second penalty, which will just allow Grizz Troopers a little bit of breathing room. He's got 10.8 seconds to Fubar, and it's very difficult for him to catch Fubar at this stage. We have only a couple of minutes left, a lap and a bit left of this race. But the half-second penalty, Bandit serves that, will give Grizz just that little bit of breathing room. Grizz obviously from the United States of America, and he is also potentially, he's on the wait list for the Porsche Cup. We do rely on, I think we need like 6 people to drop out before Grizz gets an opportunity, but stranger things have happened. We've got 3 groups, there's 45 spots there. Losing 6 people from 45 is not necessarily that big a feat to overcome. But we'll see how it goes. So up the road, there's a battle going on. Fubar and GMAC going at it. Now GMAC was going at it with TJ. TJ managed to pull away. GMAC with a penalty, and here comes Fubar. He's going to make that move as GMAC slows down to serve that penalty. Should pull off the racing line. No, it was off the racing line because the racing line's on that side. Idiot. So Fubar comes through, making that move, and he makes it stick. And he's going to have to, I think, endure a bit of a resurgence from GMAC as GMAC comes back at him. But GMAC on those medium compound tyres in that Supra. Fubar also on the mediums, but much more tyre to defend with, and much more fuel as well, because we know that GMAC likes to drink fuel and eat tyres while he's driving. They're like a little snack and a drink to keep him going on his long journeys around these racetracks. But there we go, Fubar in 5th place. Just again, a couple of places outside the top 3. It's so elusive to him at the moment. TJ, he's been having we talked about his driving ability over the last few races. He's had a bit of a resurgence in terms of form. He still annoys the shit out of people, but his driving's not bad. He did really well at the weekend in the endurance event and got himself a podium place there, I think I remember rightly. At the moment is just not what I say just. He's 9.3 seconds outside a podium place here. He had to come together with GMAC, but the place was returned summarily, so stewards don't have to look at that because it was returned. And this is the final lap of the race, and I didn't get a chance to see Stormfly across the line, but there he is. He is your winner, Stormfly VR46 across the line. Cool runnings, just ahead of Wigan. That was very, very close. Only 900th of a second in the end. TJ will come home in 4th place in the Beamer. 6.7 seconds back on the GMAC with that penalty. Will that give Fubar 5th place? I think it may well do so. GMAC does crawl across the line. Fubar nicks it though on the line. There is nothing in it between those two. Absolutely nothing. Grizz Troopers, 3.6 seconds back, finishing in 7th. Great finish from him up there in 7th place. Aussie Rooster to finish ahead of Aussie as well. Aussie's been really strong in this GR4. He's back in 8th place. Bandit in 9th place. Turn 4 it does look like a beak, doesn't it? You're right. Bandit's beak. So turn 4 is Bandit's beak, and then we've got that little sequence down there as the Wiggy Wiggler. I'm going to have to write this down to remember. So there you go, there's your running order for race number 2. It'll be Manxman from Bandits, front row. Aussie Rooster and Grizz Troopers on row 2. GMAC and Fubar will be on row 3. TJ and Wiggy on row 4. Cool Runnings and Stormfly on row 5. The reason it looks like a duck, Paul, is because Yamagiwa means rubber ducky in Japanese. That's actually you can look up. It's true. That's what Yamagiwa means. It means rubber bath ducky. It's derived from the fact that it looks like a duck, of course. And if you do Miyabi means monkey. So if you do the Yamagiwa and Miyabi, it basically looks like a duck riding a monkey. You're not falling for any of that, are you? Absolutely not falling for any of it. And don't blame you, because it was absolute rubbish. Just made that up. But I wonder if anyone listens back to this in a couple of days' time, and before they find out it's a complete one-up, then Google it. If anyone's watching this later on, not now, obviously, because there's only a handful of you watching live, but if anyone's watching this later and they heard that statement and they Googled it, email me in confidence. I promise I won't tell anybody you did it, just because I want to know if someone did. I will mention that someone did. I just won't tell anyone who it is. I promise you, I won't tell anyone who it is. You gotta let me know, man. But we are waiting an age, and this was a bit of an issue yesterday. In fact, it's been an issue for a couple of days. That 3 minutes seems to go on a lot longer than you think. But I have a feeling it's because it used to be from whenever the first car crossed the line, whenever that was, to now when the person in first crossed the line, which changed it a little bit. It still screwed us up at Nordschleife for the weekend because, that wasn't for the first person to cross the line. That was for the first person to cross the line, not necessarily the person in first, because Nordschleife is a 7-minute lap. You've only got 3 minutes. Essentially, what happened is I think it was someone like Fubar or Arooms, I can't remember who it was actually, crossed the line in like 5th or 6th, but they were obviously an entire lap behind the front 4 after 3 hours, and there was a bit of a battle going on between TJ and Stormfly for 3rd place at the time. Really good battle. Was it 3rd for second? It was either for second. I think it might be for second actually. Good battle going on between them for second all the way through that last lap. But we didn't get to see. I mean, they were coming into the final stadium section right at the end when the thing finished. But you never know what might have happened. And I think there needs to be some some intelligent. Look, you know, they've got apparently this intelligent AI Sophie that's really good at racing and can do that kind of thing. Can they not apply that same AI logic to looking at how long you run you run the lobby at the end once everybody's finished? Because you know it's got to be proportionate. When you're on if you're on a 55-second lap, right? You don't need 3 minutes. You need a minute and a half tops between the. In fact, if you let's say double the amount of time, you need 2 minutes, because it doesn't matter wherever the first person that finishes is. You're only going to be within 55 seconds of them. So you only need as long as the lap's going to be, essentially. But if you're on somewhere like Nordschleife, or you're somewhere like the Long St. Croix, or which I think St. Croix B or St. Croix A, I can't remember which one it is, or somewhere like Le Mans, where you're doing 6-7 minute laps, you need to have that additional time to allow everybody, because people are still going to be racing on that final lap, whether they've been racing for 3 laps or 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever. They're still going to be racing, and it can ruin people's races. And I do still wonder what might have happened at the weekend on Saturday for that endurance race, had it been allowed to play out with the battle going on between TJ and Wiggin. There was another battle, I think, further back as well, where the gap was closing very, very quickly. But anyway, it's not my job to tell PD what to do. They wouldn't listen to me, even if it was, because it would mainly just be swearing at me, trying to claim to the world that Yamagiwa in Japanese meant rubber bath ducky. So there we go, just grid getting set for race number 2. I probably should update, while I'm here, the thingy from race number 1, shouldn't I? And I'm sure I can remember it. It wasn't that difficult. So it was Wiggy. Was it not? No, it wasn't. It was Stallfly from Wiggy. Stallfly from Wiggy. No, it wasn't. Stallfly from Cool Runnings. Then Wiggy. I can't remember now. TJ was in 4th. Goes in 4th. Chris Troopers, I know, was 7th. GMAC and Fubar. Fubar, I think, nicked it off GMAC. Yeah, he did. Fubar, GMAC, Grizz Troopers. I think it was Bandit, Aussie, Manx. Was it Manx? Yeah, I think Manx was back. Aussie, Bandit, Manx. Find out. Grizz Troopers are back. Just waiting for TJ and Stormflies to check themselves before they wreck themselves. I don't know what the fastest lap was there, but it doesn't really matter, to be fair. There we go, updated race results from that race. We now move on to the next Kyoto. Let me just put everybody in, and luckily it puts most of the people at the top of the list for me just to check through. And if anyone wonders what I'm doing, I'm actually working on one of our partners, Sim League Pro, simleaguepro.com. It's brilliant piece of PC software that it's not software, it's on the website, that really helps with league race management. Everything, once you've got it set up, there's a little bit of work to set things up, but once you've got it set up, it is all point and click. Very, very easy to use. Takes a lot of the grind out of organising championships. Does make, I've already updated the tables for that previous race while I've been waffling to you. That's how easy it is. Do check it out, simleaguepro.com. You can set up not only your racing team, your racing leagues, you can set up within that, you can set up individual teams, you can have split races with different point systems, all very easily done, all very easily set up, and all under the click of one button. It is mobile friendly as well, slightly different layout than mobile than you get on the PC, of course, as you would expect, but it is a brilliant little thing, and you can collect things called Sim League Pro points, which is in itself a kind of overall competition between all the drivers. And it gives you things like drivers of the day and drivers on fire and all that kind of thing as well. So check them out, simleaguepro.com. and probably should talk about them without mentioning our other sponsors. Club Leaf, our sustainability partner. They offset carbon as much as they possibly can, all across Europe, not in the UK yet, but they will be when this country stops using the green agenda as a money spinner and starts using it as actually a way of saving the planet. And of course, our principal sponsor, Joachim's Machinery. TJ's company, or TJ's father's company, TJ runs it alongside him. They supply all sorts of different heavy goods machinery. And yes, I know the irony of having two sponsors who one pollutes the environment and the other one cleans it up is not lost on me at all. It's kind of yin and yang. It's balance, isn't it? Balances. We got one of them churning out the black smoke into the air, and we got the other one finding ways to offset that by walking to work and driving an electric car, for instance. We won't go into my thoughts on electric vehicles in this particular country and the unfeasibility of it, price-wise and infrastructure-wise.
Well offset.
So just waiting for the next round to start. Well, we're back, and this is race number 2, reverse grid, of course, and we will be underway very, very soon. Just wait for the lights to go out, and I think we are there or thereabouts. Let's jump out very quickly, jump back in, and we are going to be away right now. And lights are out, and Manx Man pulls away Bandit straight up into the lead at BMW. BMW is very, very quick off the line. And this time, Manx Man starting on the mediums again. Softs for the BMW for Bandit again. Can Bandit this time capitalise on that lead and open up a bit of a gap? It's Bandit from Manx Man. Aussie Rooster in third. Fubar. Finlandis just outside the top 3 yet. Can he force his way into that top 3 and stay there this time? He did take a place off of GMAC in the last race, of course. Stormfly already up to 5th place. He's just, at the moment, he just seems to be able to pick his way through, whether it's 15 or 12 or 10 or 5 cars. If he starts at the back of the grid, he just seems to find a way to pick his way through without too much stress at all. And him and GMAC having a little coming together as they go through Wiggy's Wiggler. And on up the road, but this time everyone through Wiggy's Wiggler nice and safe. And GMAC in 6th place. Cool Runnings. Great race from Cool Runnings in race number 1. Finishing second on the podium, second step of the podium. Good finish from him. 7th place for him at the minute. Gotta try and get his way through that order. This is obviously the downside with being with reverse championship races. You can pick up some really good points in the first race. By the next week you're going to be starting further down the grid. So there's always that, I suppose, from Cool Running's perspective, because he's planning his move to the UK. He's not racing as much as he'd like to at the moment. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. The Wiggy's Wiggler. I'm going to call it that in both directions. I don't care. And there is Wiggy, after whom the Wiggy's Wiggler is named. Just completing lap number 1. He's up in 8th place. And very good. He plays a long game. You've got 2 distinct differences from the top 2 in this championship, or the 2 of the top drivers in this championship, Wiggy and Stormfly. In the Stormfly goes hell for leather, balls out, absolute crushing it from lap 1, forces his way through, tries to get up and into the lead as quickly as possible. Whereas Wiggy's just quite happily just slowly catch him up, and just kind of sit in there, get his job done, not push too hard, look after the fuel, look after the tyres, stick to his strategy, and then when the time comes, then put the hammer down and make that move. He's running in 8th place. Grizz Troopers already diving through the order down to 9th place. And TJ plumb last. So not being able to get a good start with that BMW. And 3 seconds in fact, back from the American Grizz Troopers. And TJ coming across at Wiggy's Wiggler, does get it back on the track though, doesn't get too stricken, and heads up the hill. Now nearly 4 seconds back from Grizz Troopers. Bandit holding firm in the lead. You got the Dutchman at the front, Dutchman at the back, BMW at the front, BMW at the back, and Bandit is under significant pressure from Aussie Rooster in that huge V8 British engine in a beautiful feat of British engineering, that Aston Martin, of course. James Bond's car. Who else would drive such an awesome piece of kit other than the world's greatest spy, who is British? Screw you, Jason Bourne. You might have the same initials, but Bond is always better. Yeah, so second place for Aussie Rooster, tucked in behind Bandit. Oh yeah, I'm going to. I've got. It's got to be done. I'm actually gonna. I've got to, when I'll save the track map later. I'm going to add the little wiggy I've got to edit it for Wiggy's Wiggler. It's got to be done, mate. It's got to be done. So Aussie Rooster running in second. He is a good run on Bandit there. Is there an opportunity through Wiggy's Wiggler for him to make a move? And Bandit through safely. That V8 Aston Martin through safely. Neither of them become a cropper. And actually Bandit opens up a little bit of a gap. Just a little cushion of safety from that V8. They're both running on the soft compound tyre. So it's all about making a gap. At the moment, that's what they've done. They've made a 1.3 second gap to G to the Mac in the European Toyota. He's sticking with them though. He's also on those soft compound tyres. So he's gone again for that kind of race first, slow second strategy. Stormfly up into 4th place. He's also on the soft compound tyres. That's the view from the front of his car, just behind G-Mac, and he's getting a good run out of that sweeping right-hander down towards the start finish line. He's in the slipstream. You can see that BP logo for the fuel on the side of the car. You can see Roadrunner, and here he goes up into 3rd place. G-Mac going for the switcheroo up the inside, but it looks like Stormfly's going to hold it, or is he? They are side by side. It is properly drag racing, but the biggest drag queen in the drag race there was Stormfly VR46, and he can puff out his feather boa and move on to the next driver on the track. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to add that to the rules later. If you crash on a fictional circuit on broadcast, that call will forever be named after you. That's it. Bang on. There is Fubar Philantis in 5th place. He is. He's not. He's in 4th now. Who crashed? That would be. That'd be. Where is he? Bandit. Bandit had an awful crash because, and was that in Wiggy's Wiggler? Because he's just coming up from Wiggy's Wiggler now. I think that might have been before that actually. Was it in Bandit's Beak maybe? Imagine if it was in Bandit's Beak he had his crash. But he is down in 8th place. I think it might well have been because he was a little bit too close to Wiggy's Wiggler for it to have been there. So it looks like the Bandit had a crash in Bandit's Beak. And he is now back in 8th place, no longer leading this race. The BMW down just ahead, 2.2 seconds clear of Grizz Troopers. Who's that with a penalty? I've just flipped past on with a penalty. That's Cool Runnings with a big 3-second penalty there. And Manxman and Wiggy say thank you very much for that, and through they go. Wiggy up into 5th, Manxman up into 6th place. Stormfly has muscled his way through while all that action was going on. He's up into the lead of this race and already starting to try and pull a gap on those soft compound tyres. His pit window is in about 4 or 5 laps, possibly 4 laps I think. Aussie Rooster, he decided not to hold back this time. He has gone balls out. He is literally stripped to the waist, from the waist down, and just letting it all hang out there right now. He is running in second place, but he's got G-Mac crawling all over the back of him. But how long is G-Mac crawling all over the back and in front instead? He's got that inside line. He gets that super round up into second place. Thank you very much. And he pushes that V8 Aston Martin in behind him. But it's not all done, because this is where Aussie can use that V8 power to come back at him. But G-Mac just covering off any way through for that Aston Martin. And they sweep through the S's there towards the end of this lap. And then they've got this big undulating, sweeping up the hill to this right-hand side, which takes you to this start-finish line, which I think it looks to me to be the highest elevation of this track. And it sort of it heads up until you hit this point, and then the track kind of levels out, starts to descend again, round to this left-hand side. And the gap just opening up, and not getting enough power out of that V8 to close up on G-Mac. But I actually love the graphics on this track. You can really see where the lumps and bumps and the undulations are as they head back up this hill, and the crest just where that overhead gantry, advertising gantry is, before they go into the braking zone of this right-hander being Bandit's Beak. And they come out through Bandit's Beak and then under the 35R sign the other way round, heading down towards Wiggy's Wiggler. Wiggy's Wiggler is this turn. Oh, you've got this turn here, this left hand, and then this right hand, which take you back up the hill, where you head towards the S's. I think that rule should count not just for fictional circuits, but for actual circuits as well. Because there are a few actual circuits where some corners have stupid names that need renaming. I mean, look at corner number 1, Mount Panorama, is called Death Corner, for Christ's sake. There hasn't been a tree trunk there killing people for many, many years. And I think Death Corner is a little bit harsh. I suppose I was going to say it's like calling a serial killer after they've served their sentence, but it's still a serial killer. 2.9 seconds clear is Stallfly VR46. This is going to give him a very, very big jump at the top of the leaderboard. G-Mac running in second. Oh, there's a big tank slapper there coming out of that last turn, but he's into the pits. Did he mean to go in? Because I reckon he had one more lap left there. Or did he wiggle himself in? Did he do a Grizz Troopers? And anyone that wants to know that reference, my first ever broadcast was a race for the team, which shall not be named, at Laguna Seca. And Grizz Troopers managed, in a race where there was no pit stops, to spin his car into the pit stop at the end of lap 1. And allow me up into 9th place. That was very kind of him. So TJ goes through. G-Mac is last. Now, I don't know if he meant to go in then. He may well have done, but it looked to me like he spun his way into the pits just with that big tank slapper coming out of that last right-hander, big right-hander. But this is how the racetrack looks from G-Mac forwards, 1.2 seconds to TJ, who was last, but he's not anymore. He's held on for quite some time. A good race number 1. Race number 2 not been quite so kind to him in that BMW. So I said, look, usually they perform really well in the first half, not so bad in the second half. Instead, they did it the other way around completely, and just one performed really well in the first race. The other performed really in the first half of the first race. Second race, sorry. So Grizz Troopers there running in 8th place. And he's having some good performances as Grizz, and usually you find Grizz kind of languishing somewhere near where I would be out the back, but he's found a way to keep himself off the back of the pack today. Stallfly into the pits. Aussie Rooster in that V8 with the fastest lap. Is the Bandit having crasheroonies? He's not. He is staying alive. Or was it Bandit? No, he was. He has killed himself in another corner. He can't have 2 corners. It's just not. I understand you want everything named after you, but we've already got Bandit's Beak, and that's going to be your turn. When you're having another one. I suppose you could call it Bandit's Banking. No, I think Bandit's Beak is going to stick. You can have turn 4. You're not having the final turn, I think it's turn 16 or something along those lines. So Bandit into the pits. He will, excuse me, take 10th place away from TJ. Aussie Rooster's already been into the pits. He comes out in 9th after putting the fastest lap of the race with a 1:41.647. TJ up into 8th place. He's got a pit though, and I think he's going to find himself languishing back behind the V8 of Aussie Rooster and the other BMW of his compatriots Bandit. 7th place is the GMAC domain right now in that European Toyota. The fuel guzzling, and he's just made a mistake through Wiggy's Wiggler. And there's another one through Wiggy's Wiggler. Loads of mistakes going through Wiggy's Wiggler. And there's TJ up past GMAC. Who else was that had a mistake? It looked to me, I think that was Grizz Troopers. Grizz Troopers having a little wobble through Wiggy's Wiggler. A wobbling Wiggy's Wiggler. Who would have thought that you would do? Okay, see, someone said to me 6 months ago, you're going to be shouting wobble on Wiggy's Wiggler over the internet. I probably would have laughed in their face. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. So Wiggy, Cool Runnings, Manx all into the pits. GMAX, pretty much everyone other than those have been in. Fubar staying out for one more lap. He's in that top 3 and 17 seconds clear. Is it enough to stay ahead of Stormfly? I don't think so. But he is 23 seconds clear. He's 23 seconds clear of GMAC. 24.5 seconds clear of Wiggy. This could be a potential top 3 rundown to the end for Fubar. And he's got to the midway point with those soft compound tyres, which is always the aim. If you can make your half a tank last to the midway point, and those soft tyres to the midway point, if you choose to start with softs, of course, then you are in a really, really good position for the second half of the race. You only have to put in half tank of fuel for starters, but you know your tyres are going to last. You know you don't have to look after your tyres, because although you're going to be on the slower tyres, you can put a little bit more action through them. You can give it some beans, give it a little bit of welly. Yeah, you might not have the grip you're expecting underneath you, but you can still give it some, and you don't have to worry so much about scrubbing the rubber. But we'll see him come round this big right-hander here. He will pull off to the right-hand side and be the last to pit. The last of the Pitikans. And in goes Phil to his very, very pink pit crew. How you doing, Kevin? How's the holiday, man? You enjoying it? The gap is getting bigger, mate. You're going to have your work cut out when you do come back into the GR4 lottery, mate. So where are we? Stormfly does take the lead as we expected. GMAC 6.6 back in his Toyota, but Wiggy is on him. He is on him like a herpes infection on GMAC's gauntlet. It's not bad. Has he crashed there? I don't think he's crashed there yet. Not properly. He had a bit of a wobbler, but he didn't crash. And Wiggy does make that move. He makes the move on GMAC, and he makes it look relatively easy as they go through Bandit's Peak. And but GMAC coming back at him. He's not giving this up too easily. They are side by side. He goes for the little switcheroo. Doesn't work. Wiggy stays ahead, but this battle is not over. It is GMAC versus Wiggy. GMAC's just had a corner named after him by PM10 Racing, and it's the GMAX Gauntlet, which is the final turn here. And Wiggy, of course, had a corner named after him in race number 1, and that is Wiggy's Wiggler, and we'll show you how to get there. Yeah, I'm sure he did. I'm pretty sure that when he ended up, we went in the pits early, because that was really, I know GMAC's a big fan of pitting, but it just seemed he went in a lap earlier than he needed to. And if anyone should only go when they need to, it's GMAC. He's trying to swim yesterday. That sounds just literally like the best holiday ever. I did one thing. I went for a swim and then I did nothing else for the rest of the day other than play with my testicles and look at ladies in bikinis. Sounds like a great holiday, Kev. Stormfly is in the lead, 4.5 seconds clear. Wiggy up into second now, is starting to open up a gap from GMAC. The thing is, I've been told, PM10, that you should avoid alliteration always. Little grammar joke there. Manxman in fourth place, better race from him this time out. In that GR Super, he's got Aussie in the V8 behind him. We know it's not going to be easy to keep Aussie away, but he is on the soft compound tyre, which will give him that little bit extra traction out of the corners. And Aussie's got a little bit more, so he's getting a bit heavier on the fuel. I think Manxman might. I mean, Manxman's got a little bit of pace about him when the need arises, and he's lapping in around. He's about 2 seconds off the pace of the front runners. Well, I'm saying that. I mean, Aussie himself is a couple of seconds off that front runner pace right now. So very similar in terms of pace. Excuse me. We'll see how that gets on. I'm not usually shopping for that kind of thing, but if I'm on the internet and I'm perusing, I'll have a little look, buddy. Fubar is running in 6th place, 2.8 seconds back. He's on medium tyres. He's got plenty of tyre there. He went very, very long into his race, to be fair. Probably a lap longer than he should have done. But we'll see if he can close down Aussie Rooster. He's got you've got another one already lined up, haven't you, Paul? You just need that person to crash on that corner, or on a corner to use it. Cool Runnings. He is coolly running down towards Bandits Peak. We'll go through this sort of right-left combo first, and then it heads you down towards Bandits Peak into Sector 2. And you change down second gear, get that car rotated all the way around the outside of Bandits Peak. Then you're on the power, heading down towards everyone's favourite corner. And is it the Parabolica? No. Is it a Ascari? Of course not. Is it the Center S? No. It's Wiggy's Wiggler. There it is. That brilliant little left-right combo that takes you then up the hill towards this big sweeping right-hander. So Cool Runnings running in 7th, 3 seconds back. He's on the medium tyres. It's going to be very difficult for him to repeat the heroics of that second place in race number 1, though, I'll tell you that. There is Bandit. 8th place for him. He is the lead BMW. 6.9 seconds behind Cool Runnings. 11 seconds in front of TJ in the other BMW, who just, excuse me, oh, so tired today, who just hasn't had the impetus. Just hasn't had the impetus in the second race. Very, very good in the first race. Got a little tap from GMAC in the race. Did take him out of the top 3. But to be fair, with the pace of the top 3, I think it would have been a bit of a challenge to stay there anyway. And then we've got Grid Troopers. He is 10 seconds back. Definitely not repeating his heroics of the last race. Back in 10th place and some way back, almost 10 seconds back in 10th. But, the big bonus today, of course, is always going to be that it's a smaller grid today, only 10 on the grid. So if you're going to finish last, let it be when you have a small grid to cope with. That's when it's much, much better. But even still, you don't want to finish last if you can help it. Wiggy with the fastest lap, 41.3. He's up into second place. 3.4 seconds is the gap. Is there enough time? There is, if he's got the pace. Stormfly's on the medium tyres. Wiggy's on the soft. He's got the fuel. He's got the tyres. He's just been put in the fastest lap of the race with a 41.4. to be fair, Stormfly's pace on the mediums isn't that far off the same pace that Wiggy's got on those softs, but that's the thing. Can you keep it going? And that is kind of what we're waiting for at the moment, is whether he can keep that impetus going. And I'm just making a little updates because I've got slightly more than I did previously. And I don't know why it's got people who are not racing. Let's go back again. Let's take out the unconfirmed drivers. So, Stormfly in the lead of this race, 3.8 seconds ahead of Wiggy. GMAC in third position. And at the moment, looking comfortable to stay there, I think. And Manxman is 4.4 seconds back in that Super, having a much better race this time out than he did last time, which is always going to be important. If you can improve from one race to the next, then you are doing well. Aussie has improved 3.8 seconds back in that V8. All very spread out at the moment, which is unusual for the GR4 at this stage, to be fair. Usually there's one or two having a little bit of a ding-dong, particularly at this stage of the race. Fubar 1.6 back in the Cayman. Can he close down on Aussie? He's on the medium tyres. It's going to be a difficult job to do at this stage because he just seems to be holding off quite well. But we will see how that works out as we move on. So I'm just redoing the scores from the first one because I made the error, didn't I? For some reason, I've put in a race that hasn't been raced for 3 weeks. I was supposed to put other out. We will sort that problem out eminently. So talk amongst yourselves when I sort this problem out. So that it all went horribly wrong. So, full rundown. This is 5 minutes from the end. Stormfly, 2.2 seconds now. The gap is coming down. It's getting smaller, and Wiggy is closing down on the back of Stormfly. And this will be a really, really good points haul for Wiggy if he can make this overtake in the dying stages of this particular race. 1.5 seconds is the gap now. Wiggy doing everything in his power to close it down. 42.5 was his last lap. Stormfly's was a 43.2, and that's why the gap is closing. And if we're looking at tyres and fuel, you've got to look at the fact that their tyres are looking very much the same. Both going to last the end of the race, there's no question about it. But Wiggy on the soft compound tyre is just able to get that better traction out of every corner and start to close the gap. And that is the view from inside his Silvia. And it's very kitsch, isn't it? Very 1980s interior to that car. That's the sort of car you'd expect to see in one that a boy racer did. But we'll see how that works out. Driving that car, because he's 1.2 seconds back from Wiggy now. So definitely an opportunity to close the gap. And that's what Wiggy sees in his mirror. And it's not a pleasant sight when you're on the medium tyres and at one stage you had a gap, and now all of a sudden in your mirror there is the orange car, the orange silver of Wiggy bearing down on you, when you know that you are behind in the championship and this is the guy you are behind, and you do not want to see him getting onto the back of your car, particularly with just a few minutes left in this race. Hardly anything at all. I was going to say we'll come back, but it looks like Wiggy is ready to make that move. He's starting to close in. Gonna get through the wibbly wobbly section here. This nice little, it's sweeping left or right, and then a left, and then a right. It's a beautiful series of S's. And you can really take it at pace, especially on the soft compound tyres, which will give you a great exit into the last turn. And if you're tucked in under that rear wing, as it looks like Wiggy is just half a second back, good exit here. That's a great exit. Last lap for these guys. They're probably going to get one more after this. So it's still an opportunity. Fuel-wise, they're both able to do this. It's not a problem. GMAC up into third. Manxman up into fourth. Fubar in fifth. Aussie sixth. Cool running seventh. Bandit is in eighth. TJ in ninth. Grid Troopers close the gap right up 1.6 seconds in 10th place. But this is where the battle is right now. This is the battle for first place in this race. And they're coming round into Wiggy's Wiggler. Big tank slapper, well not big tank slapper, but a little one from Stormfly, but it's enough to let Wiggy through the corner, named after him, to make that move. They're side by side, and it's bye-bye Stormfly, and hello Wiggy, and he makes the move coming out of Wiggy's Wiggler. And I bet we would never thought we would see the day we were talking about his Wiggler getting pulled out. Now, this is the only thing. He's really taken it out of his tyres, doing that move, and that's put him up in the lead. Now, can his tyres hold on? Fuel-wise, I think they're both okay. They're very similar on fuel. Actually very similar on tyres, although Stormfly, being on the mediums, just has that smaller, that kind of smaller bit of wear, which gives you that little opportunity just to hang on a little bit longer. One more lap. This is the final lap. Lap 18 for these two. Wiggy from Stormfly. GMAC in third place. He's going to get another lap. He will go through, cross that line. They're going to be your top three. GMAC's not going to be fighting for the lead. Just gets through. But Manxman will finish in fourth place. That's the end of the race right there. This is his last lap. Does he get another lap? He does get another lap. No, he doesn't. So Manxman finishes. Fubar finishes in fifth. Aussie will finish in sixth place. Mr. Cool Runnings finishing in seventh place. The Dutchman all at the back there. Bandit will come home in eighth place. So Cool Runnings ahead of him. Manxman ahead of him. GMAC coming in third. There is Bandit coming home in 8th place, and then 9th will be TJ and Grid Troopers at the back of the pack. Just getting everybody put in where they should be. Bandit in. Oh, TJ makes it past Bandit. Did Bandit run out of fuel? Grid Troopers does come home, so it looks like he did. So TJ just makes it past Bandit right at the end of this race. It pays not to look away, folks. It pays not to look away, because you miss things like that. Fubar finishing in 5th place behind Manxman. Good finish there from Manxman to finish in 4th place. But here is the final charge into the last corner. Here comes Wiggy. He leads this race by just 0.6 of a second. He made the move on the last lap with the slipstream. He made it through Wiggy's Wiggler. And here he goes. He's going to cross the line. 0.7 of a second clear. And Wiggy wins race number 2. Stormfly home in second. And I think they're both out of fuel as they cross the line. Literally nothing left. GMAC, he is out of fuel by the looks of things. Certainly going to run out any time now. He'll cross the line and finish in 3rd place. And there we go. That is the final order of things. And we're done. We're done at Kyoto. There's your winner for race number 2. There's your winner for race number 1. They're side by side. Every reason to celebrate. Star Group does, or Wiggy, as we know him, does remain in the lead of this competition. He is 205 points as we go into the. So this is race number 5. So we've got. Where are we? Yeah, so next week is a very, very special midpoint event. It's same cars for everybody. Nothing changes in that respect, but all limits are off. There is no limit at all. No limit on what you do to your car. You can tune it, you can add things to it, you can put Lego bricks on it, you can do what you like. You can paint it whatever colour you like, stick whatever kit you like on it, soup it up any way you like, because it is the 1 week double point special at the special stage Route X. where you can take your GR4 car and turn it into a monster. If you want to engine swap it, it doesn't matter what you want to do to your car. Absolutely anything. And it's all systems go for that one. And I'll tell you what, if we don't have 15 drivers want to get involved in that one, I will eat my microphone after first dipping it in vinegar. That's how sure I am we're going to get 15 for that race next week. That was an absolutely awesome finish. Quick rundown, shall we, before we move into the draw for something very special. Now next week's going to be freaking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I wasn't going to lose them, Kevin. I just wanted to watch everyone else cross the line. Yeah, it's awesome. Right, let's get that coming over. Okay, so quick look at the leaderboard. I can't put it out for you because I'm copy and pasting it. But Star Group in the lead in the Nissan, 205 points, opens up that gap a little bit from VR46, 191 points in the Porsche Cayman. Aussie Rooster gets himself into the top 3 in that V8 Aston Martin, 144 points for him. That's a big gap, though, big gap. That's essentially 2 wins and a couple of no-shows for the guys ahead. Kevin, he's been sunning himself on holiday. He's been enjoying himself. He's got some work to do when he gets back, boy. 137 points. He's almost 60 points adrift. 70 points adrift of Star Group in first. He's currently in 4th place. Remember, Kevin is currently our GR4 champion. So loads of work for him to do. Cool Runnings got himself up into 5th place in the Porsche Cayman, 118 points there. GMAC up into 6th in the European Toyota. That's the highest ranking Toyota, actually. Aussie is the highest ranking Aston Martin as well, I thought I mentioned that. 110 points for GMAC. Fubar rounds out the 100 club with 106. He's 99 points behind the leader in 7th place. Then we've got TJ, the lead BMW, 89 points for him. And VRC Bandit, 63 points for him in the other BMW. Manxman, he is up to 10th place in the Toyota, 67 points for him. Yellow Sausages, we know, dropping down the order, as is Forza Ferrari. And ART Ranger, they're dropping down the order as well. Grizz Troopers makes a little bit of a leap above J49, onto 46 points, up to 14th place. And I think I'm going to remove Ranger and Forza. They've not, they've only raced in one race meet, or maybe I think it's 2 race meets actually. So I think we might, we'll leave them there for a couple more weeks and don't turn up, then we will remove. I think once the back markers, such as sort of Stonecutter J, Grizz Troopers, overtake them, I think then we need to start saying, okay, look, you've had your time. It is done. We do have 19 drivers on the board, but some just haven't really raced much. So, as I said, next week we're off to Special Stage Route X for some awesome shenanigans of souped up cars. You have to join us for that, because I genuinely don't know what people are going to do. And I don't want to know. I want it to be a genuine surprise. And everyone just to kind of get their specs and screenshot their specs, send them to me on an email. I won't look at them, and I'll post them up one by one as cars are going around, and we'll see what people have done, and we'll have a bit of fun next week. Call it a mid-season break, but it's worth double points. Double points. Who doesn't love a bit of double points? Right, anyway, we have more important things to be getting on with right now, I believe. Yes, we do. So, I am going to get round to it. I've been really busy, man. I've been really busy. I'm back at work this week as well. Quite a big job to do. I promise I will get around to it. I will squeeze out some time one evening this week if I can. I've got two broadcasts tomorrow. I've got obviously the GR3 on Wednesday. Then we start the Rivals on Thursday. I've got another broadcast to do on Thursday. I've got loads going on, mate. That's the problem. I've got loads going on. But I'll find some time maybe over the weekend to get done. There's my promise to you. I'll get done at the weekend. There we go. Right, so anyway, we need to move on to something a little bit different. Because next week, in fact this Thursday coming up, we have got this. It is the Rivals competition. Let's get these out of the way for the time being, so you can just turn things off. What have I done? There we go. It's Evo GT3 versus the Impreza GT3. Tyre wheel will be times 5. fuel conservation will be at time 6. The first race will be a 5-minute quali with a 20-minute race, followed by a reverse grid 20-minute rolling start race. First race will be grid start with full start check. There will be a mandatory tyre change of mediums to softs. The Battle of the Rising Sun Trophy final round will be a one-off 40-minute race from reverse championship grid order. I know you're right, you're absolutely right that I do have Wednesday. I might do it Wednesday then. Now, the interesting thing about this tournament is it's not just an individual tournament. In fact, it's a team tournament. So we're going to have, in a minute, I'm going to roll the roulette wheel and I'm going to allocate teams across the 2 cars. So we will have the following. So we'll have some full-time drivers driving either the Evo or the Impreza for the season. They will be racing as individuals, of course. You always do. But they'll be racing for their team. It'll be Team Evo or Team Impreza. Now, alongside that, we will have a separate Constructors' Championship, which would include any points gained by non-team members in that particular car. That will be any reserve drivers. Our reserve drivers at the moment are people like PM10 Racing. We've got Bandit as a reserve driver. We've got Gris Troop as a reserve driver. And I think there are 1 or 2 others that are going to come in as reserve drivers. Now, the way that will work is the reserve drivers will either drive either a car. So let's assume we have 5 Evos and 6 Imprezas on the track. The reserve will drive whatever evens those 2 cars out, or it will be the car with the least constructors' points. If it makes it a non-number on the track. I know it sounds confusing, but it'll be really, really easy. It's 9 different circuits. Let's run through the circuits very quickly for you. I know that we start, this week we start at Interlagos. I love Interlagos, as you well know. I'm just trying to find the competition. So here we go. So rivals. So we've got 12 signed up for it at the moment, and so we'll be 2 teams of 6. They'll be our main drivers. So we've got Interlagos next week. Then we go to the Glen, Watkins Glen. Then off to Bathurst, Deep Forest Raceway, on Spa, St Croix, and it is St Croix. I can't remember which St Croix is. Bear with me. St Croix B. St Croix B. Then we're off to Kyoto, and it is Kyoto Yamagiwa. It's this one. So we get to see Wiggy's Wiggler again, but the other way round. Then to Autopolis, and then finally, final race of the season on the 9th of March will be at Suzuka. As you know, I am a big fan of Suzuka. So here we go. Right. This is what you really want to know, isn't it? Let's get rid of these. As you see, it's nice and professional. Nice and easy. Here we go. What did I just turn off that I could have left on? See that on. Right, so there we go. So I'm going to spin the wheel and I'm going to allocate based on the list there. So we're going to start with Avalon and work our way down. Now, I do need to check because we've got HKRT Panos, and that's Panos, but we've also got Panos Pill. And I'm not sure if Panos has registered himself twice for this competition with 2 different profiles. Kevin, could you check? It could be that one of your guys uses the name Panos as well as Panos. Or it could be that Panos has registered himself twice, and if so, ask him which one of those 2 he wants me to delete, whether it be Panos or Panos Pill. I don't know which other ones of your guys are racing. I know you're on holiday, so I haven't kind of bugged you to send me their names. But whatever, if Panos Pill does turn out to be that Panos, then someone else can jump in that car and we'll do whatever. But anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? So the first car out of the tree will be, and we will rolling. And that is, when it stops bloody spinning, it really doesn't need to spin that much, does it? Does it really need to spin that much? That is the Subaru. And the Subaru will be for Avalon. There we go. Subaru. 1 Subaru for Avalon. And of course we hide that choice now because that choice is gone. Next we are going to roll, and will we get a Mitsubishi out this time, or will it be another Subaru? Who are we rolling for this time? We are rolling for GMAC. What's GMAC gonna get? It's spinning. Oh, also Team Subaru for GMAC. Interesting. So another Scooby. We're on to Kevin, and this is his brainchild. Kevin is your host for this. It's an awesome racing. So I'm actually surprised. I'm really surprised that we didn't get like oversubscribed for this, because I think it's a freaking brilliant format. Maybe it's just because of the day of the week it is, and we've got so much other stuff going on. Maybe that's it. But it's an awesome format, and I'm surprised we didn't get more. And it's an Evo for Kevin. Mitsubishi Evo. How's about that then? So there we go, Evo for Kevin and Mitsubishi. Next is Panos. Now, is this Panos number 1 or Panos number 2? Is this the real Panos? That's the question. Is he going to be with his team mentor, the leader of HKRT? Anyone that's confused, HKRT and Black Flag are essentially a kind of a joint group to the same aim. They were separate groups, but we're together. It's kind of like we're in one of those kind of throuple relationships. Subaru for Panos. Let's get him in Team Scooby. So Subaru at the moment, filling up their team nice and quick. On to winner of race number 1, Stormfly VR46. Is he going to be alongside Kevin, racing in the Mitsubishis, or are they going to be on track rivals in a different team? And it is a Scooby. So it will be Kevin against Stormfly. As we see so very often, Subaru really filling up its ranks. Aussie Rooster's next on the list. What's Aussie Rooster going to get? Look at all those Mitsubishis. Loads of them. It's got to be a Mitsubishi now, surely. Surely it's got to be a Mitsubishi. Another Scooby. Soon I'm not going to have to roll because there's only going to be Mitsubishis left. So Scooby for Aussie Rooster. So far, we've got Kevin on his own racing Mitsubishis, and we've got 5 people in the Subaru. And I could just stop it here, and then Kevin's going to get absolutely dusted on points. But I'm not going to. Of course I'm not. Let's find out if we're going to see who is Fubar going to be another Scooby driver, and then the rest are just going to be Mitsubishi, or does he join Team Kevin in the Mitsubishi? I love random wheels because it randomly chucks out what? Well, that's definitely a Mitsubishi for Fubar. So Fubar moved on to the Mitsubishi team, and I don't think look, there's no doubt in my mind that Kevin's going to win a number of these races, but I wouldn't count your chickens because it's a team event. Remember, he might win the individual event, but not necessarily the team. So Stonecutter, he's in the mix now. Is he on Team Bishi or Team Scooby? Well, to be fair, if we get Scooby, we don't have to spin the wheel anymore, do we? Because we'll know what is occurring. And it's Team Mitsubishi. That is our third Mitsubishi driver. That is Stonecutter. In the Mitsubishi, Demos, another HKRT driver. Let's get rid of that one. Scooby or Mitsubishi? Scooby or Mitsubishi? I reckon this one's going to be a Scooby. The odds are against it, of course, because there's so many Mitsubishis on there, but no, it's not coming round. It's not coming round. So Mitsubishi again. And the more you look at the word Mitsubishi, the more it looks like it's spelled wrong. It probably is wrong, actually. Mitsubishi. Ishmael Truth is joining us. Some of you might know Ishmael. I've raced with him a few times. He's going to join us for this. He loves these cars. Don't know if he's watching. Check to see if you were watching, actually. You knew I was going to draw tonight, but I don't know if he's watching. And there we go. He's on Team Mitsubishi. So we've got one Scooby, one Mitsubishi left. And one is for Ghost, one is for either the other Panos or it will go back onto the wheel because Panos has already got a Scooby. So we will see what we will see. So what do you reckon? What do you reckon? Let's spin this for Ghost because I think Panos might be a double. So let's see what team Ghost will be on. TJ, of course. Will he be on the same team as Kevin, or will he be against him? I think it's just right in the middle of it. It's Team Scooby! There we go. So that's all the cars done. We know the other one's going to be Mitsubishi. We don't have to spin the wheel for that. So it's going to be Team Scooby there. And it's going to be Team Mitsubishi there. Although we do have to check if that is the same person. If so, who else from HKRT is joining us for this? And well, to be fair, they really were early on, but not really. I think Mitsubishi. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting because you've got Patrick the Scooby, you've got G-Mac and the Scooby. You both pretty good drivers. Panos, we know, can chuck a car around. We know Stormfly can chuck a car around, and we know Aussie can chuck a car around. And TJ, when he's not driving in the wrong direction or calling people a bellend. So that's for Thanos. So Thanos will be on Team Bushi. So Team Subaru will be Avalon, G-Mac, Panos, Stormfly VR46, Aussie Rooster, and TJ. And we'll make up Team Scooby. There's 6 drivers there. If more people want to get involved, and we get one more, we'll make it a 7v7. But for now, because of the numbers we've got, it's a solid 6v6. Team Mitsubishi will be Kevin77, Fubar, Stonecutter, Demos, Ishmael Truth, and Thanos. So if we add Sturpan and Canados, I will roll them cars later because I've got to set the wheel up again to do that, and they'll get a car each. Alright, so Sturpan and Canados will get added. That'll be 7v7. There'll be 1 on each team, of course. So I'll put Thanos in. Thanos will take Panos Pill's place, and then we'll add Sturpan and Canados to the wheel. I'll do that. I'll pop all the details tomorrow so you know what is what. So, I think I've been pretty clear on the format. Let's bring it back up just so you know what is occurring, how it's going to work. Bish Bash Bosh and all of that kind of thing. I've just shut everything down again. So that open, get rid of these bits here. Loving the high production values, right? So it's 9 races. 2 races in every round, 9 rounds, 2 races in every round. It's the Evo versus the Impressors. We know you've got your teams, you know what cars you're in. Don't make me have to remind you. Get practicing, get doing. I'm sure Kevin's going to do a lovely livery for both of you. Get cracking. First race, quali 5 minutes, race 20 minutes. Reverse grid for your second race. That's a rolling start from a reverse grid from the first race. You must change your tyres, mediums and softs. Battle of the Rising Sun Trophy final round. It's a one-off 40-minute race from the reverse championship grid order. That is going to be awarded double points as well. Double bubbles. And it would be nice if we get a full grid for that one. With 1 or 2 reserves in. We're going to have the individual championships. So everyone's racing for themselves, but they're also racing for their team. And that's that team of 6 that we've just put in. Will be a team of 7 by the time we've added Sturpan and Canados. There'll be 2 teams of 7 going head to head. If you guys can turn out every week, that'd be awesome. 7v7 over the 9 weeks. We appreciate people probably can't. There's been a Constructors Championship for those cars. That is not just based on the team performance. That's based on any reserve points as well. So the reserve drivers such as PM10, such as Grizz Troopers, such as I forgot who the other one was, Bandit. Anyone else that wants to come in and be a reserve, obviously please feel free to do so. Their points will count towards the Constructors Championship only. Okay, it won't quite count towards the team championship. It'll count for their own individual championship, of course. The final thing. So basically, this is how the reserves work. Just to be clear, this is how the reserves work. The reserves will drive whatever car makes it an even number on the track. If there's an odd number, so one team can only turn out 6, one team can only turn out 5, whatever. They will drive the even number on to make it an even number. Obviously, there's more than one, it'll change. Or if it's an odd number of cars, if it will make it an odd number, then it will be the car with the least points. So let me give you an example. Let's say that after race number 1, Evo are on 10 points and Impreza are on 20 points. It's going to be more than that, but just for the sake of maths. And then we have only 5 turn out for Team Evo and only 6 turn out for Team Impreza. So what will happen is we have, and let's say we have 2 reserves coming in. So reserve number 1 will automatically pick up the Evo, because that will make it an even number of cars. The next reserve will pick up the team with the lowest points. that will also, in that particular scenario, be Evo. So Evo will end up with 7 cars, and the Impreza will end up with 6. Hope it makes sense. If it doesn't, tough tea, because that's what's happening. But great, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to this, and I think once we get this down, it's going to be brilliant. But anyway, thank you very much for joining me. It's been a busy evening this Monday, isn't it? Bearing in mind that we were staring down the barrel of a 5-driver race that I was going to be putting around at the back of a couple of hours ago. It's turned into a pretty good evening of racing. We've named some corners. We've added some people to the new roster for the new racing series. So what's left to do? Not a lot, really. So we are back on tomorrow evening. We're back with two F1 races tomorrow. We have got late night racing from 8:45. Ignore that OpenGR3 because that's not happening next week. But before we do late night racing at 8:45, we've got something else. So those of you that watch my F1 streams on Thursday know that I do some elite stuff for Smoking Pirellis. Their development league operates on Tuesday evening. So there's some great drivers in there just sort of banging on the door of their elite group. And I will be doing it, because it starts so early, I'll be doing that on Tuesday evening before we head off to late night racing. So 2 F1 streams tomorrow. Wednesday we've got nothing on. Probably, I imagine, some practice lobbies for the Rivals series. And then we're here on Thursday for Rivals and for Smoking Pirellis. So thank you very much for joining me. I've been a part. This has been Black Flag Racing TV. Catch you tomorrow. And don't forget, this weekend we've also got the Porsche Cup, so stay tuned for that in the early hours of the morning. And have fun to watch that. Laters.